Hey there, men. Welcome back to another episode of the Wolf and Iron podcast. If you're joining me for the first time, you're tuning in to something called our Truck Talk episodes. This is something relatively new that I kicked off, and it's so called because I'm in my truck and I'm just talking to you guys. It's kind of low-key, just off-the-cuff conversation, and I found that this really goes a long ways in helping men become better men. And if that's what you're looking to do, if you want to break out of the status quo, if you believe that there's a high call in your life, you have ambition and goals to achieve in life, if you want to be a better example setter, a leader, a husband, a father, you're in the right place, and I'm glad you're here. Today I want to talk to you guys about giving yourself permission. And let me just talk about what that means. A lot of times there's the man that we want to become, and then there's the man that we are. And to be the man that we want to become feels strange, to act like him, to make those changes. And so a lot of times what we do is we try to drag it out. So as an example, let's say we want to be financially successful. We want to make bukus of cash, and for all different reasons, good reasons. We want to make a lot of money. And maybe you're like me. Maybe you grew up in the poor to middle class area and more socio-economic kind of class, and it feels strange to do well. It almost feels kind of awkward and wrong. And so what we do in this case is we would have a career, and we would gain a little by little, and we would begin to own things, and we would begin to pay off our debt, and so on and so forth, and to the point that we can actually be successful, and we're making more money than we ever thought we would make. And we kind of work up to it. And this is sort of growing into becoming that man. But a lot of times we get faced with these challenges in life where we need to make big changes in ourselves, and we need to do that very quickly. We don't have time to kind of grow into it. For you guys who've been listening for some period of time to the podcast, you know I have a business that's going really well. It's called Rustic and Main. We make these really cool historic rings, wedding rings out of historic woods and other unique materials. And it's just going like a shot. It's just taken off fantastically. We've just moved into our building, and so I'm out of my garage. We've got about 10 employees. We're going to be bringing on another 3 or more in the next month. So things are just going really, really well. And all of this has happened in about a period of a year and a half or so. I quit my job in June of last year. It is now April as I record this. And it's just taken off, and that's great. But that's put me in a lot of awkward positions. I don't want to say awkward. I felt like I was ready for it because I kind of had an understanding of what I'm about to tell you guys, but still a place that I had to give myself permission to be that guy. I had to give myself permission to be the guy that can be successful financially, to have a business that's thriving, that's booming, actually. I had to give myself permission to be the leader, and I guess the strange thing about this for me was that I had to be the leader over my friends, actually, because many of the people who work for us are our friends, people we've known for years, and we're very fortunate to have great relationships with them, and those relationships have just gotten stronger, if anything, as we've been working together. But to be in charge, to be the guy in charge over your friends is a bit awkward, a bit strange. I've had to give myself permission to sell products at a higher and higher price point because they become more and more in demand. And so we find ourselves at places in life where we need to make an adjustment to ourselves, to our own personality, to the way we've been doing things. And it's difficult to do. There's something holding us back. And there's this mindset that if we were just to change on a dime, then we've either been untrue to ourselves, or we're putting it on, or something like that. This can happen as well in your marriage. Maybe you're not the most romantic guy. Maybe you've spent the last several years focusing on building your career, just being a provider, doing the best you can, just trying to scrape by. And your marriage is falling apart. And now you're at a place where you're like, man, my wife's getting ready to walk out the door. My marriage is seriously crumbling. And something has got to change. Now, you can read books, you can, and I'd certainly recommend that. You can listen to podcasts like this one and others that are focused around the subject, and you can grow over time, which is what's going to happen anyhow if you're serious about it. But you can also give yourself permission to be that guy. You know the kind of man, you can imagine the kind of man that would, if you were him, or if you had some more of his personalities, more of those character traits in your current situation. The romantic guy, the guy who puts family ahead of career, the guy who thinks about others before himself, the guy who remembers dates, and those kinds of things. You can give yourself permission to be that guy and make the change just like that. That was me snapping my fingers. In order to get over that awkwardness, though, I think we do have to give ourselves permission, particularly in the areas that are contrary to how we were raised, or where we just had this sort of mental blockage, these false beliefs that are really just keeping and holding us back, if nothing else, if not wrecking us in a lot of areas in life. So guys, it's just some encouragement here, really quick. Give yourself permission. What is it today where you're thinking, I really want to be X. I want to be a leader. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better lover. I want to be a better father. I want to be a tougher guy. I want to be stronger, faster, fitter, leaner, whatever the case is. And you look in the mirror, or you think about your past and you go, that's not me at all. And it feels awkward to make the change. Look, I'm telling you, go through the exercise of giving yourself permission. And it's really simple. It just looks like this. You just say, hey, look, it's okay to be that guy. It's okay to make that change. It's okay to be radically different today than I was yesterday. It's okay to be successful. There's nothing wrong with it. Dig out those false beliefs that are holding you back, and then give yourself permission to be the man you know you want to be. You know, I appreciate you guys, especially those who have been listening for quite a while. I love getting the comments. I love seeing the reviews on the podcast. If you're new, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You don't want to miss an episode. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up with Wolf and Iron. I do want to tell you guys really quickly, if you want to get plugged in a little bit more to some great conversations that are taking place, you can head over to wolfandiron.com/the-group, and that'll take you over to our free Facebook page. You guys can request to join there. We don't allow everybody in. Not everybody gets into our Facebook group. That's actually, we're trying to keep that as just a great conversation place for men of high caliber that are heeding the high call in their life. And so there'll be a few questions for you to answer there. If you don't answer the questions, you don't get in. If you answer the questions appropriately, truthfully, there's a good chance you will. So I look forward to seeing you guys over there. Take care.